philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. For many around the U.S., the weather is about to change. Longer days and warmer weather. Just as you prepare for weather changes, you need to be prepared for the changes in the market. And Phil Grandy is your daily guide for when you need to buy or sell and maximize your earnings. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and navigate the market with confidence with Phil Grandy at philsgang.com.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. You know, I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
The stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money, money, money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money, 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 money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
SVB Financial, that's the parent company of Silicon Valley Bank, had to raise $2.25 billion in one day. That's a tremendous rate, tremendous fundraise. One day. Because it had some very serious portfolio losses. It shocked everyone because this is a very good bank. Not expected to have many problems. I'm used to these guys. They're I don't know, pretty sturdy.
Pretty sturdy. Shocked. Who was shocked? Professionals who've been in this business like myself, that's been through the crashes, go back to 1987 up to current. None of us were surprised because we understand how the market works. We understand that these banks, okay, especially the regional banks, were in deep trouble. And it started back when Biden came into office. And he started to spend all this money, creating all this inflation. I mean, who was surprised? If you know how the market works, and let me tell you, if you got into business before 1987 and you're still in the business today, you're a survivor. You know how it works. You know what was coming down the pike here. You knew these banks were in deep trouble because when Biden started out and he went on his spending spree, starting out with the COVID and all the other spending he did, my God, I mean, you just go down the list. It was humongous. I mean, this guy, the American Rescue Plan, the infrastructure bill, the Infrastructure Reduction Act, the Omnibus bill. I mean, this all is borrowed or printed money. And the first day he got into office, remember, that's when he stopped the XL pipeline. That's when the inflation started. The first day he got into office, he was handed an economy that was doing great, 6.5% GDP growth. Are you kidding me? We were growing 6.5%. Inflation was 1.4%. He was given a gift. Whether you hate Trump or not, if you despise his tweaks, you don't like his attitude, you got to give the guy credit. He hands over an economy that's grown at 6.5%. That's phenomenal. Inflation, hardly any. This guy takes over. He destroys it within 1 year. Within 1 year, the 6.5% economic growth drops to less than 1%. The inflation, 1.4%, skyrockets, goes nuts. The inflation was over 4% by then. 6%. What am I talking about? Nuts. But let's talk about what happened yesterday with this big conference. They're going to have this big meeting, remember? 9 o'clock in the morning. Everybody was impressed. Boy, he's at work at 9 in the morning. Wow, they are impressed. So what happened? Well, he came into the conference, the press conference, to lie. He's good at that. Whether you, again, just be in independent thinking, don't be a Democrat, don't be a Republican, don't hate Trump, don't hate Biden, just look at the facts. This guy tells lies like nobody else. But at the press conference on the country's second largest bank failure, he started out right out of the gate, it's Trump's fault. What? Trump's fault? Yeah, because he loosened the bank regulations. Wait a minute. No wonder. And then he bolts to the door. He won't take any questions. Biden spent more time at the door handle. Yeah, at the door handle, trying to figure out how it works. You see him? He was fighting the door handle. There was a bigger fight with the door handle than the fight that Powell has with inflation. You see him? Both throwing punches back and forth, trying to get out through that door. How does these modern door handles work? He wanted to exit the press conference for good reason. Because if somebody nailed him, say, wait a minute. Let's talk about this bank failure. What do you mean it's Trump's fault? Even if the press said, I hate Trump like you do. But wait a minute. Let's be independent thinking for a moment here, because this country. Our country is going to hell in a handbasket. So don't just come down from breakfast and say, oh, Trump's fault, I'm leaving, and then go fight with the damn handle. Answer me. What's going on? Largest bank failure. The second largest bank failure. It was simple. The answer was simple. It wasn't a trick question. It was Biden's fault. He should have said that. It's my fault. When I started out, I created massive inflation with this new Green Deal, cutting oil exploration. You saw how gasoline went through the roof. Everything went through the roof. That was my fault. That was my decision. I wanted to take care of the Marxists and the communists and the socialists and the Democratic Party, which is about a quarter of the party, a little bit more. And I want to take care. They're the ones who got me in office. I want to take care of them. So that's how it started. Well, once that inflation started, all the banks, especially the regional banks, which he doesn't care about, Biden don't care about the regional banks. Biden only cares about the big banks because the big banks are owned by the government. I mean, do you really think that J.P. Morgan is an individual bank? Do you think that Wells Fargo is individual? Do you think that J.P. Morgan, Bank of America, Citi, Wells Fargo are privately held banks? Do you think Jamie Dimon is a private guy? No, Jamie Dimon is a government employee. These banks are owned by the government. And these banks, do you remember what happened back in 2008? What was their plan? They weren't going to save the small banks. Because the government owns the big banks, this is now another opportunity like it was back in 2008. Let's go, the big banks, government, we're behind you, and let's go eat up all these nasty little regional banks. And that's what they're going to do. They're going to pick up all these regional banks. They're not going to save them. They're going to rescue them. If they were going to rescue them, they would have never let this happen because they knew the minute that Biden took office and he started to do all these stupid things with oil exploration and gasoline went to $5, they knew that the banks, the national banks, to make money, they had to start buying bonds. And they also knew to take money from the bank and go buy bonds. They had no choice. So they could make a spread, they could make some profit. But they're buying bonds, 10-year Treasury bonds, yields were only 1.8%, 2%. They also knew at that time, the Federal Reserve, Biden, they all knew at this time, that at one point, these zero rates were no longer going to be at zero. They're going to have to fight inflation. And when they get up to 4%, these banks are all losing money. And then they'll take them over.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
philsgang.com.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
What, are you nuts? If the stock market can make you so rich, especially Apple and Microsoft and Google and Amazon and the rest, why are so many Americans poor? If the 401k promises you a retirement, then why is it we are in a retirement crisis? Here's the answer. Because 85% of you get out of the market too late. I fixed that with my color-coded chart, which tells you when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out. That's right, when to run like hell. Check it out. You get a free membership and the free color-coded chart for 10 days. Check it out, philsgang.com.
With the philsgang.com membership, we bring investors right to the floor, into the pits with Phil's daily live webinar classroom. Get inside market guidance on investing strategies. Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. Don't have time to analyze and study stocks? At philsgang.com, we recognize that there are all types of investors, and we also recognize that your time is valuable. So we offer investing programs for all individuals. We offer investing programs for long-term and short-term positions. And philsgang.com provides quick and easy to understand investing videos that only take a few minutes to watch. With the philsgang.com investing programs, you will learn technical stock charting, how to execute your trades, and most importantly, you will gain the confidence to know when to get out of a stock and take profits. Sign up at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or give them a call, 877-600-GANG. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What, are you nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Phil Grandy has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free. If anything, during that 10-day period, you're going to learn how the market really works. You're going to find information that you never had before. You're going to walk away and go, I didn't know that. So join my gang for 10 days free, philsgang.com. And you're also going to learn how to make money when the market goes down. It's kind of silly just sitting there when the market going down, hoping. Why hope when you can sell short and make money? Either way, you make money when the market goes up, you make money when the market goes down. That's the benefit of Phil's Gang. You make money.
Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level.
philsgang.com. Sign up free for 10 days.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay, so every day since this happened, or every day, but especially when this crash happened with the banks here, the regional banks, SVB, I made my members, we did classes on how to identify what the market's going to do, because it's going to be very, very volatile. Yesterday we had a 600-point swing. I said the same thing's going to happen. But the smoothing mechanism, I told my gang, is the bond market. We can tell when we're going to have big rallies and then they're going to give it all back by watching the bond market. And we spent a lot of time, myself, Steve, Willie, in educating our members how to read the 10-year Treasury bond, the chart. Because you don't have to ask anybody, what do you think the market's going to do? So example, for today, my gang knew when we were up nearly at 475 points to rally, not to jump in the market and buy, because it was going to give it all back. Because when you look at the chart on the U.S. Treasury yield, you can go see it right now if you want. Just go to CNBC's the 10-year Treasury yield chart, and you can see clearly what's going on. That they've been artificially trying to push the yields down. And you can draw a straight line. Okay, you can draw a straight line from yesterday, straight over to where we are now. I don't know if you have it up or not, but if you put up the U.S. 10-year Treasury chart, CNBC chart, draw a straight line across, you can see it's a red dotted line. It's right in there for you. And it identifies how they've been holding that down artificially. What they do, the Treasury, they go over, remember, Yellen has $8 trillion worth of Treasury bonds on her balance sheet. I don't know if this number is right, okay, maybe wrong, but I think it throws off a year something like $160 million in interest. Now, that may be totally wrong, but it's a bunch of money, interest. They make tremendous interest. So what they do, they're going in and taking that interest income and they go in and they buy bonds because they want to push the yield down because they know that all the banks right now, many of them are going to fail because the bank are looking at yields at 3.62. They're trying to get it back down to 2 if they can. Because remember what happened. On Biden's watch, the biggest thing he did to screw America was when he screwed over the oil companies and he stopped 72% of our oil exploration. You know what happened. Cost of food, gasoline, everything was going up. For the banks, especially the regional banks, to make money, they had to go and they took their money or took their deposits money and they went and they bought treasuries. And then treasury yields were like at 1.8%, maybe 2% the most, but about 1.8%. When Biden, things got worse, much worse, okay? I mean, he kept doing all these, the COVID program, the child tax credit, the budget plan, the American Family Plan, the infrastructure bill, the omnibus bill, on and on and on. And they had to keep going buying more treasuries, your little regional bank in your town, to try to make some money, to try to make a spread. They weren't making money because they were fighting Biden, his inflation. So when inflation got so bad, what'd they do? Powell comes in, I'm going to fight inflation. I'm going to raise the fixed rate from 0 to 4.75. Whoa! Now all the regional banks are losing big. The big banks too, but let's not talk about the big banks. You got to remember the big banks are owned by the government. The 5 biggest banks, they're not independent banks. Jamie Dimon is not an independent guy. Jamie Dimon is an employee of the government. So the little independent banks, the regional banks that grow communities are getting screwed. But do you think Biden cares? Do you think Jamie Dimon cares? Do you think Wells Fargo cares? No, they're going to go eat them up. Remember, that's what they did in 2008. That's what they did in 2008. So if that wasn't the plan, they would have stopped this before it began. If Yellen was independent and Powell was independent, they would have sat with the president. No, we can't do that. We can't do this. We can't do all these inflationary things. As inflation goes up, we're going to have to fight it. And as we fighting, all these regional banks are going to go out of business. But in their private discussions, they're saying, Yahoo, this is good, great. We're going to do it in 2008. We're going to screw them. We're going to go and let's sit down with Jamie Dimon, okay, the head gangster, and then the 4 other biggest banks, and let's set up, get them money, get them ready to go, and they'll buy up all these small regional banks. We'll put them all out. They're nothing but an inconvenience anyways. Let's get rid of them. That's called socialism. Remember I told you, we have socialism in this country. Social Security and the 4 or 5 biggest banks. So yesterday at the meeting, Biden comes in, the first thing he says, it's not my fault. It's Trump's fault. And then he ran to the door. And he trying to get out of the door. I mean, did you see him? He was at the door. He was fighting with the door handle. Trying to get out. Get me out of here. Don't ask me a question. Get me out. He couldn't figure out how to get the door open. He was fighting. Look at, he was throwing left hooks, right hooks at the door. Door was winning. The door was winning. Unbelievable. Now, any other president with the second largest failure, banking failure in history, wouldn't they answer a question? Like, how the hell did this happen? Well, he couldn't answer a question because he'd have to say, I did it on purpose. Or he had to say, I'm nuts. I'm nuts. I turned around and I created the biggest inflation in history. So what's going to happen now? They would have asked them. Do what we're doing. That's what I would have answered. What's that? I'll tell you when we get back.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG. If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works. Remember, when this market crashed in 2009, it should have never crashed because the chairperson of these two committees, their job was to protect consumers, protect our investments, and they're supposed to ensure that our investments are being monitored. Where were they in 2009 and 2008? They weren't anywhere because they don't do that. They take care of themselves. They protect themselves. They become richer. So you can't depend on these crooks in Congress. The stock market is a great place to be, but you just got to know this is a different market than your grandfather's market. So why don't you, for 30 days, join my gang, 877-600-GANG, try it for 30 days, $39.95. Follow me. I tell you when to buy, when to sell, when to add, and when to run like hell. All I ask you start making money, please remember St. Jude.
Don't wait. Join Phil's Gang today and make profits. Go to philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264. What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
What, are you nuts? Coffee's up 92%. Lumber's up 67%. Heating oil, what, 60%? Gasoline, 55%? I understand why you guys are telling me to raise my rates here at Phil's Gang, but we haven't raised our rates since 2001. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I'm not going to raise my rates. Our membership's been $39.95 since 2001, and for a good reason. So that you have enough room that when you do make money here at Phil's Gang, and you will, because you're going to learn how to short stocks, that there's enough room to send some money to St. Jude. That's why we never raised our price. And that's why we give you good value. So, you want to continue with good value, good information, be on the right side of the market? Join my gang, philsgang.com, where the price has not moved, where we fight inflation. philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com. You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Okay. We are making money in this market because we knew on February 22nd to start shoring the banks. I told all my gang members, let's take the ETF, XLE, we'll sell short the basket of the banks. Now, how do we know they're going to collapse, go down? Because what I explained, you just got to keep watching the yields. All right, again, if you've been in this business long enough, if you went through 1987 crash up to the last crash of 2021, the 38% drop we had, one thing you start learning is you start following the bond market, because the bond market's where your answer is. You don't turn on CNBC and listen to Jim Cramer. They're not going to tell you the truth. That's not their job. Their job is just the opposite, not to tell you the truth. They work for the advertiser to make you go out and buy something, make you feel good. So if you go back and look on the U.S. 10-year Treasury CNBC, you can see on Thursday yields are up at 4%. So my God, 4%. So they're trying to get those yields down to 2%. So we started, and we knew there's no way they're going to push these yields down. No way they can hold these yields down. This was a great opportunity to short the banks. So we started to short the banks before they collapsed, because our experience told us this is what would happen. We've been through this for since 1987. We know what happens when yields go up, banks collapse. And it was even worse this time, because remember what Biden did. When Biden started out with all his different programs, when he first started out, remember cutting all the energy exploration. The XL, he closed that right away after he became president. Anwar, he closed that. And then he turned around and leased Nordstrom to Putin. Then right after that, on March 11th, he started the American Rescue Plan. That was a killer, total inflation. And then he started the tax credit plan, the child tax credit plan, and then he did the $6.8 trillion budget plan and $1.8 trillion American Family Plan, and then the $1.2 infrastructure plan. And we have no money. We have no money. Country's broke. At the end of the year, we're in a hole. $1.2 trillion. We have no cash. We have to keep going to China and ask them. And our deficits, he gave us the two worst back-to-back deficits in history. We got to beg China for money. So the banks are sitting there watching inflation go through the roof. And as inflation's going through the roof, they're not making money. So they're buying bonds. They're trying to make some spreads. But here's the point. Please remember this. When they start to buy all these 10-year treasuries, are you telling me nobody in this administration, nobody at J.P. Morgan, Jamie Dimon, nobody at Goldman Sachs ever said, wait a minute, inflation's going up so high, especially with this COVID, and we're shutting down the economy, that even though we're supporting all these people and we're printing all this money, inflation's so high, the banks are going to be in deep trouble. We've known that over the years. This isn't the first time this has happened. We know the banks are going to go broke because what did they do? When Biden started this mess, the banks went in to try to make some money by buying long-term treasuries. But now the problem is, when yields went from 1.2%, I'm talking on the long-term treasury. I'm not talking about the Fed short-term treasury where they raised rates from 0 to 4.75. I'm talking about the 10-year treasury. So now they're losing money. Every day they're losing money. And then Biden comes out and he says, hey, get your money out of the banks. Get your money out of the banks. We're going to offer you here at government, the treasury, we're going to offer you 5% for 3 months. We're going to give us the month, lend us the money, your money for 3 months. We'll give you 5%. Your stupid bank, they're going to give you 4% over 10 years. So when he goes to the press conference and they ask him, who started this? The answer is, he did. Why the hell do you think he ran to the door? He wouldn't answer a question, and then he started a friggin' fist fight with the door. Why? Because he couldn't answer the question. He had to say, it's my fault. Now, the other thing, he says, let's take this thing that he blamed Trump on. Remember, the bank failure had nothing to do with Trump's bipartisan bill that 17 Democrats signed and 35 Republicans signed. All they did is list these stupid regulations on small, tiny banks that were killing them. They don't need stress tests. They got rid of those. Stress tests are fake. They're fake. They use the stress tests to prop up the banks. They lie about the banks. That's what stress tests are. They're phony. Get rid of them. They're too expensive. And we don't need mortgage loan data reporting every quarter, costing these banks $35-40 million for data. They already know what the data is. They don't go give these data to the government. That's stupid. More waste of money. And then they had all these safeguards for student loans. What good are the safeguards? We know they're not going to pay. So you're going to have safeguards that are going to cost us $12 million a quarter? Get rid of them. So what happened? By Trump doing that, and 17 Democrats passed it with 35 Republicans, what happened to what happened? Our economy went up 6.5% GDP growth. Because this is the kind of stuff he did. He wanted to make sure the small banks could operate, could do what they're supposed to do, help the community grow. That's what he did. What Biden did, come in and all this stupid fight with Mobil Oil and all the other oil companies, what did he do? He destroyed the economy from 6.5% to less than 1% growth. But he's trying to throw it on Trump. Are you nuts? No wonder Biden wanted to get out of that. Biden couldn't wait. Guy couldn't wait to get out of that door. I mean, I never saw it. And he went nuts. He went nuts trying to get out of that door. Look at him, like a madman. That's why he was anxious. So, from our experience, we knew on February 22nd what a great opportunity to sell banks short. We knew they were going to go down. I told you on January 16, 2018, this whole 13-year rally was over because Yellen and Powell, between them, raised rates 8 times for the first time in 13 years. And when they're raising rates 8 times for the first time in 13 years, what does that mean? It means all these banks, especially the small regional banks who are buying treasuries to try to make a profit, a little bit of a spread, they're screwed. Because those treasuries that they bought were too low yield. That means when inflation went up, and they pushed the yields up, they were losing tons of money. So we started to short the banks before anybody else did on February 22nd. On February 28th, Steve comes in my office. He says, you know these national banks are going to get killed. Let's short them. Get our gang members to short them. We'll short them all. the regional banks. We short all the regional banks. KRE, February 28th. I said, short them. Short the hell out of them. And we told our gang members, short these regional banks. And then we told them to add to their position on March 2nd. And then on March 7th, I said, add to JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, the big ones. They'll go down too. And that's how we've been making money. That's how we've been making money. Now, if anybody thinks that's over, oh, everything's okay now because Joe Biden fought the door handle. What are you, nuts? This is insane. This is insane. This isn't over by any stretch. And let's talk about gold. Gold. And let's talk about the housing market. There's all kinds of ways to make money now. If you're in a 401k, you're dead. Dead. You're like roadkill, man. 401k is like roadkill.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy. Is your business prepared to respond to any emergency in the workplace? Well, you better be. Let over 30 years of law enforcement experience go to work for you. Boyd Investigative Group is here for all your business security needs. I know. I use them. They're terrific. Call today for your free confidential consultation. 941-724-4535. That's 941-724-4535. Or visit them on the website, BoydInvestigativegroup.com.
License number A1900020.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
Welcome back. Are you ready to make profits in the stock market? Why not check out philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. KRE, that's the ETF for all the regional banks. As I said, XLF is the ETF for the big banks. So I started shorting and had my gang short XLF on February 22nd. And then, as I said, Steve comes in and says we should really be shorting on top of that KRE because they're going to get really slammed because they're going to be losing all kinds of money on the bonds they're buying to try to make money because of the ridiculous inflation that's been created by Biden, who they're trying to now fight the inflation by raising the short-term Fed rates. They're going to push yields up on the long-term 10-year Treasury yield, and that's going to destroy the profits of the regional banks. So I short them. So we shorted them on February 28th. And now, and then added to them, told everybody to add on March 2nd. Then on March 7th, I told everybody to add to the XLF and all our other banks, big banks. But KRE, right now, if you're with us, we have about a, what was it returned, you say? 27% from when our Pro 2 color-coded chart gave us the sell signal that money was pouring out of these banks. That's right. And these banks are going to continue to go down. If you start chasing these rallies, when you see like today we're up 475, then we're down 52, now we're up 200, don't do it. You're going to lose money. This market's going to go much lower. Go to my site, philsgang.com. Sign up where it says Get Started. Right next to it, you'll see how does the Pro 2 work. Look at the Pro 2. Because for Biden to come out and say this, that everything's okay, all this crap, listen to this. Listen to these lies.
The banking system is safe. Your deposits will be there when you need them.
No, they're not. No, they're not. They're taking care of the SVB, the most liberal, woke bank, who, take a look at the depositors, all these startup tech companies, right, who flood all kinds of money into the Democratic Party. He's taking care of them. People have no idea what's going on.
I think what we have to take a look at, Andrew, is that these banks are very well
capitalized. Why are they tanking? Another lie. Stay short the banks.
Is this an isolated incident, or is this a sign of systemic risk?
Yeah, I think it's isolated.
See, they can't tell you the truth. They can't. They're not allowed to tell you the truth, or they wouldn't be on those shows. Those shows aren't there to help you. Forget what they say. Trust our color-coded chart. Join our gang. I teach you how the market works. What are the workings of the market? So you never have to ask anybody, what do you think the market's going to do today? You're going to understand when this happens, this is going to happen. When that happens, these stocks are going to go up. When that happens, these stocks are going to go down. Steve sits there and he teaches you how to actually execute trading, shorting and going long. There's nobody better in this business. Nobody. There isn't anyone out there that I know that made that call on KRE on February 28th. And remember, it was only, what was it, Friday, what was the date on Friday? It was March 10th is when the banks collapsed. He was way ahead of them. Now, here's the other thing that really grinds me. So they're saying the press was all over Trump, was Trump's fault for what went on with the banks here. But wait a minute, what happened when Barney Frank and Barney Frank and Dodd. Remember those two characters? They forced Fannie and Freddie, who's been around since 1938 for over 70 years, or 35 years, right? They started in 1938. For 70 years, they provided our communities mortgages. When banks give a mortgage, they had to stop giving mortgages before 1938 when they ran out of money till they got more deposits in. 1938, for 70 years, they got in the middle and said, banks, give mortgages, give us that mortgage, we'll buy it, give you your cash back, okay, and then go loan again. That's how important that was. Why? For more than 70, I think it was about 60 years at the time, Fannie and Freddie, they went in, these two gangsters, these two crooks, forced them to take subprime bad loans. Fannie and Freddie, a bank couldn't package and sell them a loan unless the credit was a minimum. Credit score was a minimum of 7.25. 7.25. They were getting more. They were getting credits at 350, 4.25. They blew up Fannie and Freddie. It cost you and me $185. What was it? $187 billion. $187 billion. But nobody talks about that. No, nobody said anything about that. Oh, it was Trump's fault that why these banks went down, because he changed some regulations. The regulations he changed is what grew our economies. What grew our economies and our states and our county, because he allowed the regional banks took the handcuffs off. And that's when we went to a 6.5% GDP. And now we're at a GDP of less than 1%? Give me a break. So the bottom line is this. This is not over. Join my gang. Learn how to interpret the bond market so you never have to ask again, what is the market going to do? Let us teach you how to invest in stocks properly, how to make money when stocks are going down by shorting. God, you got to learn that. You got to learn that. Look, they decided to replace earnings with stock buybacks. By doing that, that was inflationary. And what does inflation do? It's detrimental to our economic GDP growth, detrimental to rising wages, detrimental to our dollar. It makes the dollar so strong it really screws things up. It's detrimental to rate easing, detrimental to productivity. And by the way, our productivity sucks so bad, it tells us they're losing the fight on inflation. If you want to find out the answer, are they winning inflation, the fight on inflation? Look at your productivity. Productivity has collapsed. Productivity has collapsed. Give me a break. But nobody's going to tell you the truth. Are you kidding me? The economy contracted from a GDP of 6.2% to 1.5% under Biden. Now it's less than 1%. Sales have contracted for the biggest drop in 2 years. Margins. We have margins that have contracted the most in 10 years. Earnings contracted the most in 5 years. Savings, we went from 32% of disposable income to 2.2%. PCE, that's a big important one. We'll have PCE, I think, this week. Remember what happened? It came in at 4.7%. They thought it'd come in at 4.3%. PCE, it was so red hot. Inflation's still hot. And by the way, everything they're doing right now is causing more inflation. Manufacturing's at a 14-year low. The one you want to look at is the Philly Fed, and you want to look at the Texas manufacturing. Those two tell you everything that's going on, and they're all but ugly. Durable goods, that's a big deal. They're falling through the floor. I mean, I can go on and on and on. But you should always be in the position that none of that matters. None of that matters. If you know how to short and know how to go long, you know how to do both, you're going to be fine. But don't let anybody sit here and tell you the banks are fine. That's a lie. No, we got a lot. Why do you think they're out there buying bonds like hell today, the Federal Reserve, and pushing the yields down? Now, that's pushing your gold up, but be very, very careful. We're long gold, but what we're doing is swing trades, just swing trades, not on our Pro 2, but on our Pro 1. We're doing swing trades. We're doing good with swing trades because we don't think this is going to last. We'll see. Look, go to my site, philsgang.com, free for 10 days, okay? And by the way, make sure tomorrow you're listening to us on our podcast, okay? We'll still remain on Sarasota and 93.7 FM, and everything else will be podcast starting tomorrow. Rumble, Apple, Facebook.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.